Hi, my name is Jepi Mathis, and I'm a staff developer at the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project at Columbia University in New York. And I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about a very important skill that your beginning writer might be learning to solidify, which is putting spaces between words in their writing. So often, when young writers are learning to write, they get all of the words on the page, but they don't think about putting spaces between those words because they're just trying to capture their thoughts and they're not thinking about the need to have the spaces for the reader to be able to understand what they wrote on the paper. So there's a couple of things that you can do that we often do in early grades to help students to take ownership of this work. One is that you might take a book that you and your student have been reading together and take a quick minute and just look at how the author used spaces in their book between words. So you might take a minute and turn to a favorite page and notice that they didn't write their words right next to each other, that they wrote a word, put a space, wrote a word, put a space. And this helps your students to understand that the groups of letters are each words and that there are bigger spaces between words than there are between each letter in the word. Then, when your student goes to do their own writing, you might think about having your student first orally rehearse what they're going to write and maybe counting out on their fingers how many words that is. So, if your student was going to write, I went to the beach, they might across their fingers say, I went to the beach. 5 words. So we're going to write a word, put a space, write a word, put a space, write a word, put a space. So then they might take their writing paper. So if they have some writing paper that they're working on, and let's think about what's the first word we're going to write. Well, the first word we said was I. So your student writes the word I. And then often what we do with early writers is we teach them how after each word they put their finger down on the paper to create a little space. And then at the edge of their finger, they write the first letter of the next word. And that allows them to use a concrete object to develop that space between the words to reinforce that skill for them. And then they can keep writing the word went, finger space, to finger space, and continue their work. So that's a couple of little tips that you might try to help your student to solidify that idea of spaces between words. We hope you and your student have a great time writing together.